How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today, finally, get this bloody mission. So, the microphone's just been taking the piss for the last 20 minutes as well, and not recording for no apparent reason. Now it is, for no apparent reason. Yeah, this whole entire mission has been a giant pain in the ass, to be honest. Yesterday, there was 4 missions that you had to get 3 barrels for each mission. So, after and an ahhing, I got a bit late on the game anyway, but I kind of decided I wanted to round up all 12 barrels and go and cash them in at once. This was the video I got yesterday, so here I am, all 12 barrels, parked up. Right behind me is where you need to take them to, and the reason I didn't finish and then I didn't do a video was because I was thinking, just in case when I cash all 4 in, it might do some kind of cutscene, change something in hindsight. I suppose I don't really know what, because it's already drained water levels and rose, but then stole the bridges back off me. Today when I loaded up, this was the second time loading up. The first time I did, came up in the middle of the screen saying something like crash dump report, and it said send or don't send, and I just clicked send, and then it closed the entire game and kicked me out to the main menu. I reloaded the game, and this was when I was turning it on. It's like, you fucking kidding me? I have no idea why, but it's reset the game, put all 12 barrels back where they originally were. Here's the truck that you just saw a minute ago from yesterday's footage, had all 12 barrels in it. Yeah, and not only that, just to take the piss. In the end, it helps. I'll explain why in a minute. But it put all the barrels back, and they're all completely damaged. So it didn't even reset them, and you'd have a chance theoretically to gather them all up without damaging them. Yeah, they're all damaged. That's the route I did yesterday, and I'm going to do today. I sort of skipped some of it ahead, but that's to get 7 of the barrels back to here, and then the other 5 I kind of use different vehicles, use the links to gather 4 of them, and then another link to go do a massive loop. And then glitch number 2, it's been an absolute whopper with glitches today, not just on this game, but bloody DaVinci Resolve as well. The mule that I collected all those barrels with is now randomly stuck in position on nothing. It's just obviously some kind of, I don't know, extra glitch on top of resetting all the barrels, and it took me obviously a couple of hours to gather all the barrels, so it undoubtedly saved many times whilst I was getting the barrels. So there's no way it reset all 12 barrels without there being some deeper glitch within the game, because yeah, if it just reverted to the last time it saved, I would have been, well, probably, to be honest, had all 12 barrels anyway, but even if it reverted a few back, I would have had 10 barrels or whatever. Yeah, so I kind of didn't have much choice at this point. It's well, I've basically got to go and get all 12 barrels again, do all the footage again. Yeah, bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. It was I thought technically as well, tonight I won't have to start as early because I've actually got most of the footage. I just wanted to turn the game on tonight and drive it into that zone and cash them all in and see what happens. And again, I was maybe there'll be a cutscene thing, and then at that point I could at least play the game a little bit more, and in theory not have a glitch was the plan. Turns out a pretty bad plan. Yeah, the fact that the game was able to revert multiple hours back to where all the containers are there. I mean, I'm assuming the game didn't revert back. Obviously, it was a glitch and it just replaced all the barrels. Here, by the way, is glitch number 3 or 4. When I got here, 1, it wouldn't offer me winch points to the barrels, and 2, when I crashed into it, it's kind of moving around all weird. And again, it won't offer me winch points to the barrels. There's the thumbnail I got yesterday. You can see the crane in the water. I was trying to reach over to the other side, which it was harsh. It wouldn't reach it, but it should have. The crane got pretty damn close, really, I think. Close enough. This was yesterday, by the way. This was a glitch yesterday, which, between other things, was what made me not do a video yesterday. Because, 1, I got on the game a bit late, so I was I really could get cracking and get some missions done. And obviously when I looked, it was bloody hell, they're all 4 missions are the collecting the barrels, and it was kind of I don't really want to do a barrel mission a day and essentially make the next 4 days be a barrel mission. And then, yeah, at that point, I was like, well, I might just round all 12 up, because the way they're all spread out, I mean, maybe some of them you could go and grab, like, 3 of them. By the way, I was using that floating barrel. I was knocking little trees down in the forest, just sort of messing around with it, seeing why it's floating around like this. Again, this was yesterday. But yeah, it sort of made more sense. Like, the route I'm going now, I was sort of passing 7 of the 12 barrels. So, yeah, it's like, instead of keep half doubling back on yourself to do all 4 separate missions, I'll just get most of them rounded up. And then obviously I wanted to see what would happen once I did all 4 missions, because they're like the only 4 missions available at the minute. Yeah, for this one, because it wouldn't let me winch to the barrel, I thankfully can do like recover item, which just reset one of the missions, but then that now sorted out the problem of like being able to winch to them and actually load them into the sideboard. And like I say, at this point they were all damaged. However, yesterday when I rounded them all up, I damaged them all basically on purpose. But I mean, again, if it didn't dick around, there was other bits of footage yesterday, but now I've got like 40 or 50 different videos to try and go through, and it's essentially going to repeat the same thing. And in the end I came to the conclusion tonight's rounding up of the barrels was slightly smoother, let's say, because I'd already had a trial run yesterday and I had a few various vehicles in different locations that were kind of from yesterday driving around. Like, the crane is in a different place that helped me, like, you'll see it a little bit later on in here. The barrel I'm now going to get, I actually brought the crane to a bit back, but where my mule is now pretty much, and reached over with the big crane. But that's now further ahead on the route I'm going to do, to a different bit where my vehicle drowned. So it was, at this point it was like, do I either bring the crane all the way back here and reach over, or I saw this little like alleyway going sort of round the back of this massive rock. Yeah, see if like the mule would climb over those rocks, which that Minuteman scout thing got stuck on the other day. But yeah, thankfully like it did climb over and I was able to reach this barrel and whatnot. Yeah, like it just, that was sort of the theme of the night and yesterday really, all the glitches. What was the thing up? There was something I was gonna... Oh yeah, so I was saying like I would have put more of the footage in, but I sort of damaged them all on purpose, but it wasn't... This mission is so fucking stupid. Like the barrel, the concept of it in general, how easily it gets damaged on this game. I had footage of where I attached, like, say, a winch to the barrel and would move my vehicle like an inch and it would damage the barrel. There was a bit of footage where I had one lifted with the big crane and it was in the air, swinging quite gently, to be honest, not violently bouncing around or anything. That randomly damaged it and it dropped back down to the ground and all the rest of it. Yeah, I just knew already when I started this mission, I'm just going to throw them all in the sideboard. And also I've got a bit of footage where I was driving along in this where they're strapped in and obviously hit a practically nothing bump, and then the straps detach, and not only at that point do the straps detach, but now say like at the minute I've got 4 barrels in the sideboard, then they're all suddenly rattling around, so they'll damage each other, which I don't know. If you really wanted to do this mission, if someone said they'll give me £1 million to do these missions and get the barrels there without damage, I'd probably have enough patience to do it, because I don't know, you'd pick it up like with a crane, move it fucking half a mile an hour, go into something like this, click low range and purposely drive along at half a mile an hour. Like, you'd sort of be doing it obnoxiously, if you know what I mean, just to almost take the piss out of how stupid the missions are. And that's about the only way you'd have a hope of getting there. One thing like they could have done and probably should have done, and it's a bit of a missed opportunity, like they added the Lynx mutt in this game. This was where the crane was, by the way, that when I said I could bring it back and reach the barrel. My vehicle drowned crossing here yesterday, that's why the crane's here in the first place. For some reason, I mean, it's not a major glitch, but when I switch to it, there's no noise on the crane rotating or anything. Yeah, that Lynx mutt thing that you get from returning the Hermit's stash or whatever it was, they should have added something on that that could hold the barrels and actually hold them decently without them damaging every 2 seconds or straps detaching. they could have made that vehicle specialised to retrieve the barrels a hell of a lot less trollishly. And then now, I mean, I moved the crane, like, you see my crane legs eventually fold in there, but they bounced in a few seconds before, and that wasn't me. It just, the game randomly pinged the crane legs in, jumped my crane forward until it drowned its engine, which is like, great. Now what I was going to do, which I did yesterday, was then use the crane to get me back across that deeper section of water, but now it's drowned, I can't operate the crane. So I used a different way to sort of cut along to the edge of the bank. It doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, the route I took, I sort of shown you a little drawing earlier of like the route I was going, but as you can see, I end up passing 7 barrels, and then yeah, I'll show you what sort of the other ones, although it's pretty, yeah, like I say, at times I went to go and grab a barrel, and I was purposely, say, picking it up with this and smashing it against the side of my vehicle, and then it'd damage it, and then it'd drop it, and you re-winch it, or I'd drop it into the sideboard violently, because if any one of these barrels in my sideboard had any health left, it'd keep auto unstrapping the winches now. So the only safe way, ironically, to transport them is they're all so damaged they can't keep forcing the straps to unstrap. And again, it could be one barrel out of all of them, and once they unstrap, as you can see, they're getting stacked up a bit, they'll start spilling out the sideboard and all sorts. So I was like, I'll avoid it even pissing me off that much. Like, I just purposely fully damaged each barrel before I properly loaded it into the mule and then set off to the next one. Obviously tonight's footage you're watching, they're already fully damaged when I get there, because the game glitched and reset them all, but reset them all fully damaged. I did drown the mule trying to go out a different way, so I ended up sending a different crane in just to get it over this thing. But you see, even dropping like that probably would have damaged one of the barrels, unstrapped the cargo, and then they spilt everywhere again. Yeah, so my personal, I mean, if you really want to get them there undamaged, good luck, but I honestly wouldn't waste your time, because the mission is so trollish, and especially the location some of these barrels are. It's like, how the hell are you going to get from there back to here without driving over a bump that causes the straps to unstrap and they auto take damage and all the rest of it? Whilst I got here, I rammed into that mule that was kind of glitched into the ground. That one actually moved this time. And then I flipped it back over with a crane, but I just cut it out. So yeah, that's 7 of them. There's 2 on the other side of the river here, which, there's my links already there from yesterday, because I dragged all 4 of the 5 that are left, I dragged them next to this building, and then collected them with a different mule, which was why there was 2 mules, like the one I just crashed into each other. That's why both of them were there, because I kind of used 2 different ones to bring the barrels. Yeah, I mean now, like, you see how that was floating a bit, you like fire a winch to it, that could be enough to damage it, and then it'll auto-detach the winch. Obviously, if you want to not damage the barrels, but it's like, how do you even get down there to grab that barrel in something that won't damage it, and then drive back up here? Because obviously I've sent in the links where I've just winched it and I'm dragging it along. You're only able to do this once it is fully damaged, really. But yeah, like, how tedious it'll be to get, I don't know, would you send a big crane down there, pick the barrel up, try and reach over and load it to a mule? But you're going to have to drive up that rocky surface and all the rest of it. Like, the chances of not taking a bump that auto damages them and de-straps it and all the rest of it is fucking slim to none. I don't even think fucking slim, like, that's being generous. Yeah, so that's 2 of the barrels, and then you can see the other 3 are here. These first 2, that has been drowning in the water for the last couple of weeks. It was on video a few weeks ago. I rescued this when I came here yesterday with a different link to grab this barrel. So that's why, I suppose, worked out a little bit convenient, but that's why that's now not drowning in the water anymore. Yeah, grab these 2. The 3rd barrel is kind of on a different little piece of land that you can't really get to from this set of islands. So you got to go all the way around the top, really. As I got, there's another barrel that I've just drove past. At least this links. Well, obviously they're alright at towing the barrels because they're pretty light, but yeah, climbs up here quite nicely. And then went and got the 4th barrel. Again, I thought I was trying to follow my own tyre tracks, but yeah, either way, climbed like hassle-free, sort of. Not like it was only just made it or anything, it's pretty good at climbing up stuff like that. So there's 4 of the 5, and then I end up recovering to the roadway base, or whatever, roadside base, further at the top of this water treatment plant. Because like, there's no way to get across to this side, so you're just on a different set of islands. Here I am now, kind of heading south already from the roadside base. Yeah, again, like, I'd like to see the person that put these stupid fucking missions in the game to actually do this without taking any damage at the forfeit of their paycheck if they can't do it. It's yeah, a very stupid mission, and that was before, and there's 4 of them. Like I say, the order that they're in, like one of them, for example, like, sorry, the 2 I just grabbed a minute ago with the links, where I said like, how would you get down that rocky ledge and everything. 2 of them are on that side of the river, and one of them was on the other side, which was the first barrel I grabbed, which tonight didn't have any winch points, so I had to like reset them all. But if you did each mission separately, I don't know, you just, there's not a smooth way of doing it. Like I say, one, like a set of 3 has got 1 on each side of the river, which is like a massive trek round. That's the route I end up going around with the links to bring this one on its own back. Yeah, is just kind of like stupid anyway, but I don't know, just in general a terrible idea. Like, thankfully, it's one of them where, by the way, a bloody AI spilt sand on my road. Yeah, it's one of them where, like, potentially, OCD-wise, I could get really keen on completing this mission without damaging them, and then get really pissed off because it's nigh on impossible. Thankfully, I just kind of like, I've already realised they're a pain in the arse, and I just wasn't even interested in attempting it in the first place. So like I say, I just damaged them as soon as I got there. And yeah, I was like, I'll just round all 12 up, throw them in a mule, and then take them all at once and see what happens. That's what she said. Yeah. Now I'm going to recover a mule to that coastal base, and then drive up to where I got all those 4 in a little pile over that stupid little narrow wooden bridge, and back to there again. It's like, well, I'm almost getting deja vu. I wonder why that is. It's almost like I've already done this fucking mission. And the worst thing is, like I say, it's 4 missions, so I actually did 4 missions worth of barrels yesterday, and it reset all 4 of them, which is a fucking giant piss take. Yeah, this has got, what, another 4 in here. Adding them all together, get the straps on, and then yeah, another few hours of wasted time. This is basically where I was up to yesterday. So obviously at this point, it's like, there's no way I'm quitting the game. I was thinking though, it could crash any minute now if it just popped up earlier saying some kind of crash dump report, whatever it was. Then yeah, it could technically happen now and reset all 12 again. So it's just looking through, there's all 12 barrels, they're all damaged. Again, yesterday on purpose, but today no choice. In a way, it not helped, but I was only going to go back and re-damage them to load them in the sideboard without them having the possibility of de-strapping everything and all the rest of it. And then, yeah, once you get there, I mean, it was all pretty anticlimactic, because, like I say, I was thinking, oh, possible cutscene and whatnot. It just flashes up, all 4 different missions are done. It obviously draws a box there that's, like, for another mission. And the funny thing is, it kind of sums up how much of a piss take these barrels are, or as far as like, will you go to the effort of getting them there without damaging them? I've unlocked 3 new missions. I click on one of them because it said chemicals. Oh, for God's sake. Right, I put these 2 cargo containers there the other day, that's why these vehicles are here. There's 3 more barrels have appeared because it's another mission, and look, one of them's already took damage. And there is no edit between when I just cashed all them others in. They've only just spawned 30 seconds ago, and I've not been near them, not touched them, and one's already took damage just with the mission activating and existing. So that's how ridiculous they are. There's also another place that wants more barrels. And then lastly, I suppose in a long line of glitches, there was a mission that wanted to do an infrastructure route, and it wasn't very far away, and just while I was messing around at the end, I thought I'll draw the line through the trees just to see how well the AI vehicles will actually knock trees down on their own. But the reason I sort of left this in really was, so there was a mission that says deliver a vehicle and do the AI route. So I've done the AI route of it. I mean, it took a little while, by the way, to knock the trees down, but it did actually eventually knock them down. I think I was making something to eat, so I kind of activated this to half let it run. But yeah, I was just curious, like, would it actually knock its way through a forest? And then this was, yeah, while I was making something to eat and whatnot. Obviously sped up a hell of a lot. But there it is, slowly smashing all the trees down. It eventually got stuck on a pipe and then got stuck in this bit of mud. So I had to ram it, give it a little boost with the bicycle truck thing I had nearby. And yeah, it's only just going up ahead. I didn't even apologise, like in the top right it says no tracked objective. I didn't even track it. I wasn't even sure it was going to get there. It was more to see if it'd ram its own set of trees down. But when it, obviously those doors open, you hear a little bloop and it's done, but it doesn't say anything objective complete. And when I go to the objectives, click on this one, infrastructure route. Now it's added a different infrastructure route into the mission without completing it. Like, I don't like the way it sneaks extra missions into missions. So yeah, for whatever reason, now there's another route I've got to do. Yeah, so like I say, all in all, bit of a piss take. 88% though. I think I was on 81, so doing all 4 barrels got, well, 7%, but then I did that AI route, but I don't know if that would have counted to anything because it didn't say a mission complete. Got 5 objectives left. At least 2 of them are going to be collecting more barrels, which again, I'm not going to try and get them there undamaged. I'm going to throw them in the sideboard and drive them there. Yeah, last little look at the stats. You can see getting very close. I don't know what will happen when I click on washout, if it'll unlock more main objectives, because according to that, once I've done those last few missions, the entire game's done again, but I've still got another DLC map to do, so God knows. Focus, sort your fucking glitches out. Yeah, that's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed, hope that helps. Thanks for watching, get yourself a loaf because he's a whopper, and I'll be back soon.